13 and 11 starts now.
Coastal Carolina rules the roost. They win the championship.
And folks, that is what dreams are made of in Omaha. Coastal Carolina takes down Arizona 4-3 to bring a national championship trophy back to Conway.
You guys inspired us to win this. Hopefully we inspire you.
Thank you. Shots up.
To celebrate this historic win, we are continuing with our teal colors in the studio tonight. News 13's Conan Gasquet was in Omaha today as the Chanticleers celebrated the school's national title.
Coastal Carolina arrived in Omaha 2 weeks ago as an underdog program that few thought could win a championship. By the time they left, they had won the hearts of fans all over the country, and when those fans return next year, they'll see a Chanticleer logo on the list of champions.
Coastal Carolina national champions? I mean, it's got a great ring to it, but, you know, did we really think that was going to happen when we started this thing back in February? Phew. You know, I surely did. I thought we had a chance to be good, but, you know, I mean, this is a sacred place to try to win. You know, it's been unbelievable.
Yeah, it'll send some chills down your spine and know that you made history for the program and kind of moved it in the right direction. So to do that for Coach Gilmore, this program, and this university has been truly something special.
The tying run on third and the winning run on second. And AC's been one of our best guys all year, and we just had all the faith in the world in him, and he made a big pitch for us, and down in history we go.
And it's not just history because it's the first title for the school, but Coastal's also the first team since Minnesota in 1956 to win a title in its first trip to the College World Series. Reporting in Omaha, Conan Gasquet, News 13 Sports.
Thanks so much, Conan. Fans around here pretty excited for their team to come back home. The Chanticleers set to arrive back in Myrtle Beach in about an hour over at the airport, and that is exactly where we find News 13's Janet Jones. Janet, looks like it's absolutely packed behind you. What's going on out there at the airport tonight?
Megan, what can you say other than wow, this crowd is incredible. This is what Teal Nation is all about. You can see people here showing their school spirit. Lots of Chants up here tonight, just excited that their team is about to land, bringing home a national title for the first time in school history. It's history being made right here at this airport tonight. And they told me earlier, you know what, the Chants shocked the world earlier today, but this community is not shocked. They have stood behind that team this entire time through this whole road to Omaha, and they're happy to be here tonight even though it's late. I wish I could show you more of the crowd. It goes all the way back to the gate, and then as far as I can see this way, the crowd here is incredible. The finish to that game today was incredible, and that team is incredible, and we're excited to be here tonight to welcome them back home. We'll be here to get you video. We'll have it for you on News 13 in the morning. For now, celebrating the Chants and reporting live in Myrtle Beach, I'm Janet Jones for News 13.
I can't tell you. The last 3 innings, all I've been doing is folding my hands at third and over in the dugout and praying to God that this is His will. And I know my dad's up there. I lost him 2 years ago, and I wanted him so bad that he couldn't be here to be with me. I'm so bad. I'm so sorry he isn't, but I know he's watching over me right now.
And that was CCU's coach Gary Gilmore right after Coastal claimed its victory. Gilmore was named National Coach of the Year this year by the National Collegiate Baseball Writers Association. And the celebrations certainly are not ending there. Tomorrow, a welcome home parade will happen in downtown Conway at 1:30. The team will then host a party at Springs Brooks Stadium at 2. A lot of you asking us for some more details on this. We've got them online right now for you on WBTW.com. New at 11, you're taking a look at the State House in Columbia. Immediately after tonight's game, Governor Nikki Haley asked to have CCU's flag flown right on the top of the State House dome.
Give a big shout out to the boys at CCU. Finally someone did it. We had a chance in 2010, but you guys took it home. First time there. Chants up, baby. Let's go.
Former Chanticleer and current Tampa Bay Rays shortstop Taylor Motter congratulates Coastal on their big win tonight. This is video of him watching the ending of that Coastal game while his team was warming up. Certainly something to be proud of.
News 13's national championship coverage.
Welcome into the National Championship Preview Show. I'm Conan Gasquet alongside Julia Morris here in Tampa, Florida. We've got a full preview ahead of the National Championship game. Clemson, by the time it's all said and done, hopes to lift the trophy for the second time.
Coach Dabo Swinney has done everything at Clemson but win a national title. Tomorrow he can add that to his resume. Coach Swinney took a picture in front of the trophy today.
So it's the third national championship Dabo has participated in his football career. He won that one as a player. He still seeks his first as a coach.
And he has a long way to go to catch up with the man on the other sideline, Nick Saban, the king of college coaches. 5 national titles. He doesn't lose these often. He's been in 13 conference or national titles total. Only 1 was a loss. Swinney hopes to hand him 1 more tomorrow night. But win or lose, Coach Dabo Swinney has done a lot.
A smooth ride for Dabo and company ever since he took over this program. A lot of ups, a lot of downs. Here's a look at some of the milestones along the way as he brought Clemson to the national championship game. The end of 2010 essentially marked the beginning of a new era. Clemson lost the Meineke Car Care Bowl to South Florida that year. It wrapped up their first losing season since 1998, and Dabo promised he'd do anything it took to turn things around. What he did was hire a new offensive coordinator. Chad Morris reignited Clemson's offense. The Tigers won 10 games and their first ACC title in 20 years. But the end of that season brought embarrassment. West Virginia beat the Tigers 70-33 in the Orange Bowl, and that brought more changes. Dabo hired Brent Venables from Oklahoma to resurrect the struggling defense. In 2012, the defense made progress, and so did the Tigers. Clemson won 11 games for the first time since 1981. That sparked high hopes entering 2013. The Tigers started 6-0 and rose to number 3 in the nation. That's when Florida State came into town and won 51-14. It was a devastating loss, but they still won 11 games for the second straight year. 2014 marked the arrival of a highly touted freshman. Deshaun Watson was every bit as good as advertised. Injuries kept him out of several games, but Clemson's defense picked up the slack. Defensive end Vic Beasley led the nation's top defense, and Clemson won 10 games again. 2015 is when everything came together. Clemson was unbeaten in the regular season and played for their first national title in 34 years. They led Alabama in the fourth quarter before the Tide rolled back to claim the trophy. But 2016 provides another chance. Clemson beat Ohio State in the semifinals. Monday, they'll get the rematch they wanted with Alabama. So that's a look at how Clemson got to this point. Coming up, you'll find out a player who could help them get over the top.
You hear about that. I mean, South Carolina's never won one. The only Clemson one has been 1981. So just try to give national championship back in the home state would be pretty cool.
And a look at Renfro's numbers the last 2 years, 30-plus catches, 400-plus yards. Half his touchdowns last year happened in the title game. He has a knack for clutch plays. We'll see if he can make a couple more tomorrow night.
And Renfro's just one part of this very talented.
Find holes in the defense and, try to move the ball down the field and get points.
And it's certainly not going to be easy to do that against this Alabama squad. They have 5 All-Americans. They're the nation's best at stopping the run, among the best at stopping the pass. They even score well on defense, 11 touchdowns defensively this season. Some say it's the best Bama defense under Coach Nick Saban. Okay, coming up next, we're going to take a look at things from the Alabama perspective.
You're going to hear from an Alabama analyst and get his thoughts on the big game straight ahead.
News 13's national championship coverage.
Welcome back to the National Title Preview Show. Alabama has built a dynasty in college football the last few years. Tomorrow night, the Crimson Tide have the chance to add to it.
And as we've gone throughout this week, we've certainly told you a lot.
Right now at the 3 keys Clemson needs to pull off a victory tomorrow. Key number 1, hold on to the football. Alabama has 11 defensive touchdowns this year. Clemson has had trouble with turnovers. The Tigers can't afford that tomorrow. Their quarterback isn't worried about that going in.
I don't really focus on that. Because I focus on, what we have to do on our side of the ball. And, they just do a good job of getting the turnovers and creating those into touchdowns and points. So, I just focus on what I got to focus on, and I don't really, focus on what they have going on over there.
Key number 2 for the Tigers, stop the run. The Crimson Tide, they always run the ball well. This year, no different. How about Bo Scarborough? A huge game in the semifinal win over Washington. If he does this again, Bama can keep that Clemson high-powered offense on the sidelines. The Tigers are going to have to find a way to slow him down to win this game.
They got a tough offensive line and 3 really good running backs, so we're going to have to put on our big boy pants, be ready for whatever they throw at us, and just go out there and try to dominate the trenches. If they beat us in the trenches, then that's the game. You don't win a game like this without playing well in the trenches.
Key number 3, special teams. This is what it all came down to last year. An onside kick and a
Clemson
kick.
and Alabama in the national championship game tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Tune in to News 13 throughout the day for all our coverage. Have a great night.
Start your engine!
Welcome into the Bojangles Southern 500 preview show. I'm Conan Gaspé alongside Jillian Morris. Over the next 30 minutes, we'll have a full preview for you of tonight's race, but we're also going to take a look at some really special paint schemes.
Throwback paint scheme is a new thing at Darlington, just started last year, but it's something that's been a huge hit. Drivers and fans get really excited about these throwback paint schemes.
And speaking of things that fans get excited about, we're in the Darlington Raceway Stock Car Museum right now. Check out this car right here, one of the many cars here in the museum. This was driven by Richard Petty in 1967.
The 67 Plymouth. Take a look at this car. It's got the Petty blue, good-looking car. Petty drove this when he won his second Grand National Championship. He had a very historic season in 1967, won 10 races in a row at one point.
And as you can see, there's a lot of other famous cars from Darlington and various other points in NASCAR. A lot of fans in here getting ready for the race. Checking out some of these cars, it's a very special place to be. And it's a really cool place because, you know, it kind of fits in with the theme that we have here of all the throwback campaigns. That's one thing that they started last year, so that was kind of the beginning of a new era at Darlington Raceway. This year's another new era.
A new era because there's a new president, Kerry Tharp, new president of Darlington Raceway, new here, but not new to the state of South Carolina. He's been a resident here for 31 years, so he's excited to be the president at Darlington. I talked to him earlier in the week about what it's been like so far since he got here and what his future plans are for the track.
Looking good, baby. Looking real good.
This is what Kerry Tharp's life looks like on a daily basis. Being president of a NASCAR track is
Gearheads in the stands, people who are just die-hard NASCAR fans. They're going to want to know who's going to win the Bojangles Southern 500. We don't know that yet, but we do know who's going to start up front. It's going to be Kevin Harvick. He's starting up front by virtue of what happened with qualifying this week. It was washed out because of all the weather we had. So they're going by driver standings. That's why Harvick is in the front, and he's a guy who is dangerous no matter where he starts in the field. He has won here before a couple years ago, also a Cup champion that year. So Kevin Harvick, a very talented driver and a threat to win here at Darlington Raceway this week. Let's take a look at the rest of the lineup. Brad Keselowski right behind him. He was outstanding here last year, not quite able to get it done because Carl Edwards got it done. So Edwards is going to try to make it 2 straight here at the track, too tough to tame. Let's look at 6 through 10 now. Kyle Busch in that number 6 spot. He's a guy who won the Cup championship last year. Denny Hamlin at 7th. He has had a lot of success here in Darlington in the past, as has Jimmy Johnson and Matt Kenseth. So that's a look at how we're going to start.
Scrape and bake.
There's a lot of traditions here at Darlington Raceway. The Darlington Stripe is among them. We saw some guys get those in practice. Everyone's going to be trying to avoid that in the Bojangles Southern 500 coming up tonight. That'll be one of the major storylines, as it always is, but we've also got a big storyline with Dale Earnhardt Jr.
Dale Earnhart Jr. out for the Southern 500 and out for the rest of the season.
Race is old racetrack, man. I don't care how many coats of pavement or whatever they put on this thing. Ain't nothing but Darlington.
This is where they have to get a little aggressive.
When comparing Darlington Raceway to other tracks, this place really stands out for a whole bunch of different reasons, including the way it's shaped.
That's because it's an egg-shaped oval. That means it's different on both ends of the track. News 13's Taylor Hurlong found out why this track is so much harder than others for drivers.
This is a great honor. There's no place like Darlington to me, and to have a garage area named after you from now on is just great. This place, it will bite you. Everybody would love to have Darlington in their resume, I'll tell you that. So it's a tough place.
Cale Yarborough's name is well known in NASCAR and also here in Darlington.
Yeah, he's got 5 career wins here at his hometown track. He grew up in Timminsville, and now a part of this track is going to be named after him. Let's take a look at the special ceremony that they held for him this week. He is back, but first,
let's take a look at more paint schemes. First, we have Ryan Blaney. He's celebrating the 40th anniversary of this throwback paint scheme. This is David Pearson's 1976 paint scheme.
Joey Logano is going to sport this throwback paint scheme. Longtime sponsor Shell Pennzoil Oil celebrates the 20th anniversary of its first win with this throwback. This is a mirror to Bobby Labonte's winning paint scheme from 1996.
And we have one more for now. Michael McDowell and his team will honor Richard Childress by running these throwback colors. The scheme honors Richard Childress' 1973 Kansas Jack car.
All right, we've got much more coming up straight ahead on the Bojangles Southern 500 preview show, so don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. All right, we can't let you go just yet. I mean, when it's a NASCAR special, we've got to make our race picks, right? Go ahead.
That's right. I'm going with Jeff Gordon. I know he hasn't done his best since coming out of retirement, but you can't argue with the history Gordon has had at this track, and it's a tough track, so I think someone with experience should do well here. I'm going with Jeff Gordon. Plus, wouldn't that be a great story? Filling in for Dale Earnhardt Jr., Gordon gets the win. I'm going with Jeff Gordon.
Gordon, no doubt about it, a sentimental favorite here. It would be an awesome story for him to win, but I think I'm going to go with Brad Keselowski, and part of the reason for that, not only the success that he has had throughout this season and over the past few years, but if you look back to last year's race, he was dominating this race, and things didn't work out for him in the end. I think he's going to come here with a whole lot of motivation, and he's going to get the win in the Southern 500.
All right, that'll do it for our NASCAR coverage here in Darlington.
Thanks so much for watching. As we leave here, take another look at the Bojangles Southern 500 Darlington Raceway Museum and all these great cars. A lot of these cars are cars that guys drove to victory lane during their career here at Darlington, including the one that's kind of closest to us here that we showed you earlier in the show that Richard Petty drove back in 1967. Who knows who's going to win tonight in the Southern 500, but perhaps their car will end up in the Darlington Raceway Museum. Thanks so much for watching. Tune in tonight at 11 for highlights of the Bojangles Southern 500. Have a good night.